My name is Joel Chandler. I'm a civil rights advocate and editor of an online magazine called fogwatch.org. I'm a Floridian and I write about open government issues. I also work with civil rights organizations, citizens groups, students, and the media to improve public access to government records and to help these folks better understand and more fully exercise their constitutionally protected civil rights. In addition to working with citizens, I consult with public agencies and government contractors to help them better respond when citizens seek access to public records and to demonstrate respect for this fundamental civil right. My services are offered free of cost. Sometimes my work involves visiting various state and local government agencies in order to make a public records request. I also visit government contractors whose contracts explicitly make them subject to Florida's exceedingly broad Public Records Act. These are companies that have entered into legal agreements with the taxpayers of Florida to provide various services, everything from operating prisons to building roads. Because Florida law requires many procurement contracts to include explicit language, making these government contractors subject to the Public Records Act, citizens have a right to know what's being done in their name and at their expense, even when it's being done by a private entity. And that's a big deal, because many services that would otherwise be done by the state have now been privatized. While it remains to be seen if privatization is a better choice for taxpayers, it's obvious that we won't know if we don't have the facts. So it's critical that citizens and the media continue to have access to the records that belong to us. Several years ago, when I first started visiting government contractors to make public records requests, fewer than 5% of government contractors complied with their obligations under the Public Records Act and the terms of their contracts. Thankfully, by raising awareness, the rate of compliance has risen to more than 50%. There's still a lot of work to do, but we're seeing real progress. Today, lots of government contractors willingly, even cheerfully, deliver the services we've paid for. But the news isn't all good. That's because there are some government contractors who don't want the public to know what they're up to. Perhaps that's because they don't want the public to know that they've been taking your tax dollars to deliver services they have no intention of providing. Remarkably, when these bad actors get caught ripping off the taxpayers, their lawyers engage in blame shifting and claim that their clients were tricked and that they were the victims of gotcha tactics. The fact is, when I visit a government contractor to make a public records request, I have nothing to do with how the contractor responds. I simply ask to be permitted access to non-exempt public records. The rest is up to them.
I'm here to make a public records request in connection with the center's contract with the Department of Elder Affairs. Are you the lady I would need to see about that? I'm here to make a public records request in connection with your Department of Health contract. Hey, I was just here to make a public records request. I'm just here to make a public records request.
All right, cool.
I wanted to make a public records request. I am looking to talk to somebody about making a public records request. I wanted to talk to somebody about making a public records request. I was here in connection with your Department of Corrections contract. It's contract C2773. And I wanted to make a public records request to inspect and photograph the signature page of the contract.
Okay.
Make a public records request in connection with your DCF contract. Just here to make a public records request in connection with your DCF contract, and it's contract QJ4A4. And I just wanted to inspect and photograph the signature page of the contract.
Well, I would be glad to.
In each of those examples, the government contractors responded to my public records request by complying with the Public Records Act and the terms of their contracts. In other words, we got what we paid for. Here's another example. This encounter took place in Sarasota on January 27th, 2015.
Hey, how are you? I want to be sure I'm in the right place. Suncoast Partnership to End Homelessness?
Yep.
I wanted to talk to somebody about making a public records request in connection with your contract with DCF.
If you happen to have a card, I would take one. Joel, keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. And your name?
I'm Dave. Here, I'll give
Dave, by the way, thank you very much for your
Oh, you're welcome.
being polite, easygoing. That was painless.
We're obligated to cooperate. The painless and easygoing is just our nature. Right?
That's not always the reception that I get, but
Well,
thank you
more
again.
power to you. Thanks
right.
for the hard work that you do.
Thank you.
Hang in there.
All right. And if I can ever be of service to you folks, you have my card. Please let me know.
Okay, I do. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
It's remarkable how many government contractors respond that way. They're proud of the services they provide to the citizens of Florida and are delighted to allow the public to see what they've paid for. Now here's a clip shot in Sarasota from earlier the same day.
Hey, I'm here in connection with your contract with the Department of Economic Opportunity.
Okay.
And it's contract C0952. And I just wanted to make a public records request to inspect and photograph the signature page of the contract.
It's worth noting how similar my approach is each time I make a public records request. I'm basically using the same words and the same tone of voice, but watch how different the response is.
Do we not need to see like his ID or something?
Yeah, probably. Have you got any idea, any identification?
Let me
on you?
just wait. Let me get.
Yeah, I do have ID.
Can I see it, please?
I'm just making a public records request.
I don't care. You can't come in and ask me for a contract. I need to see some ID from you. Where are you from?
I'm from Florida.
Who are you? What company do you work for?
Until you show identification, I can't do anything like that.
What?
I can't just come in with no identification.
Who are you? Well, no.
Well, you don't even tell us who he is. He just said he's from Florida, so.
Yeah.
Some idea for you before I show anything. I've got no objection to showing you the paperwork.
But as a condition of seeing the paperwork, I have to give you my identification.
I need to know who you are. Oh, you could be a competitor asking for stuff. How do I know
I
that?
could be. I'm not.
Absurd.
The contract explicitly states that
We're open to.
the contract has to
Yeah,
be made.
well, within reason. You can't just come into somebody's workplace and ask for that page.
Why do you want to see it?
I'm just interested in taking a look at it.
Yeah, but why do you want to have a look at it?
Does it matter?
I,
You know, we don't
I
know
understand
who
about
you
the
are.
public records request, but you should go to the public records and request that. You have to do that through the department. And you need to go to the public records and request that.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're not going to let me see the records?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna
no.
get-
You all have a contract with the Department of
I do,
Economic
yes.
Opportunity, right?
Okay.
And that contract is subject to disclosure
It
under the
is,
Public
yeah.
Records Act?
Yeah.
And I just want to inspect and photograph
Oh.
the signature page. It's subject to disclosure under the Public Records Act?
Yeah.
It is.
Sure, we've signed something that says that, you know, it's public record, and we know that. You know, at the end of the day, this contract for us is not worth the hassle. You're Joe Public, right?
Yeah.
You're nobody. You're just a guy off the street
Yes.
that's walked in our office
Yes.
and said, right, we need to... It don't work like that. You've got to piss off.
Yeah.
It
Under the Public Records Act, the custodian of a public record cannot condition access on the requester explaining why they want the records or who they are. I mean, all of that's just out of bounds. I'd be happy to wait while you call the Department of Economic Opportunity and find out what you're supposed to do. I'd be happy to wait. That'll make a
I think we
difference.
should.
Do you want me to wait outside
I wanted
the
to
building?
wait outside. How you doing?
I'm good. By the way, you get much better video if you turn it sideways.
Yeah, it's alright, it's fine.
So I'm going to give you that request that's in writing. You can send the record to that email address. All right, man. That's your choice. I'll be in touch with you later.
You're being evasive. You sound from Florida. You're not telling me who you are. Who are you? Got a card?
Just want to inspect and photograph your visitor's log.
Nope. You ain't gonna do that. You don't do it like that. You got to give me a reason why you want to do it, and then you got to send me a public records request. You just ain't gonna come in and photograph our visitor log. No, can't do that.
And just so I'm clear, so as a condition of access to the records, I have to send you the request in writing, certified mail, and it has to be notarized.
So you
It has to be in writing. I have to tell you who I am and why I want it. Otherwise, I can't get access to the records.
I mean, you can always hire yourself an attorney and go that route. We can make it difficult, we can make it easy.